Beautiful people, hope you all are doing good. Happy Sunday, and it's a great time to be with you all. You're welcome to your favorite live podcast, and this is our Sunday Jangi, our regular Sunday Jangi, a platform, a podcast where we come to talk about live issues and talk about different things happening and learn, educate ourselves, unlearn, and learn new things. This is a platform just for you, like you all already know it. I am welcome. And I'm your uncover for today. It's not a show that is a one-man show. We have other guests and we have beautiful, amazing, gorgeously looking women. And they will be with us today. And we have some gentlemen coming in as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your favorite show. And without much ado, those of you coming in, do your best to let us know where you're connecting from. Do your best to share the broadcast. Do your best to invite friends as well to actually watch the broadcast. If you're coming in, let us know where you're coming from. So as usual, we can give you a special warm Sunday shout out. The shout out is very, 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 very interesting. Shella Tan, I see you, Shella Tan, and glad to have you, Shella. Says happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, Shella. Let us know where you're watching from. We have Emma Square. Good evening, boss. Good evening, Emma Square. Hope you're doing great. Emma Square is watching from Bamenda. Please, when you come in, you do your best to share, share, share. So we have a good number of people watching, and we make this very, very interesting. When we have a good number of people, we have numerous ideas, and we have different points of views from different angles, such that we handle the topics from different strategic angles. Today is one of those days that we'll be talking about a very pertinent topic, a topic that is not popularly or properly addressed, simply because most often the survivors, I was told they are not victims, they are survivors. The survivors of these usually are timid to actually talk about their experience. Yeah, so today is one of those days we'll be talking about this particular topic, and it is no other but rape. I think we'll look for a particular way to model it so we don't get flagged, by the community guideline. Yeah, and to handle this topic, I'm not going to be alone. Please, those of you coming, do your best to share to as many possible as many persons as possible. Like I said, there's going to be Sunday live mobilization. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, mobilization. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Share to as many people as possible. So we have this wonderful conversation. Those of you who want to share your experiences as well, do your best to let me know. We can always keep you anonymous, and you can always join the live. Those who want to share their testimonies can always join the live without revealing their identity, like you join with camera off. And now, ladies and gentlemen, like you all already know it, it's a podcast where it's never a one-man show. So we have amazing people, educated people, very beautiful and handsome gentlemen, very beautiful ladies and handsome gentlemen that will be equipping us with some beautiful knowledge on how to tackle this particular subject matter. We have, I see Erico Tabit. Erico Tabit, hope you're doing okay. Please let us know where you're connecting from so we can give you a special shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring to the stage Coach B, your favorite. Hi, Coach B, and happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, welcome. Thank you.
Glad to
I'm
have you on
excited to
board.
be on board.
Oh, we're all to have you. You're all glowing today. Maybe you tell
Thank
us your
you.
secret.
I think the secret for this weekend is my birthday. I'm plus
Oh,
one tomorrow. So
wow.
yeah, I had
Let's all say
some.
happy birthday to Coach B. Meanwhile, we give
Thank
we, we
you.
give more wishes tomorrow. Happy birthday, Coach B. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. I'm not a good singer.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday in advance, Coach B.
Thank
And I
you.
mean, we're glad, we are privileged to be. I don't know if somebody wished already, but I want to assume the first position on this platform. So we all are privileged to wish you a happy birthday at this very special moment.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. So how's the day been?
Awesome. Beautiful.
Oh, all right, great. You know, today is
I'm
that day which
excited about this topic, and I don't know the code word we're going to use. If we're going to spell it out, RAPE, or how do we want to talk about
yeah,
it?
I think that would be much more better. RAPE, yeah,
Okay.
RAPE. Yeah, I think RAPE is going to be good. So those who are victims of RAPE, and even if you're commenting, do your best not to
Type the
actually
word.
use the harsh word. Don't use the word, please.
Mhm.
Don't use the word, please. We have some beautiful wishes from Coach B. We see happy birthday from Pretty Mama Sita. This
Thank you,
Emma
sis.
Square says welcome, Coach B. Emma Square says happy birthday in advance, Coach. This
Thank you.
Raya Johnson says happy birthday, Ma. Steffi Oswo, glad to have you. John Gonquita says good evening, Coach B, and happy birthday.
Thank
Oh, we
you.
have the beautiful wishes. We have Binka Nyoyeni says happy birthday, Coach B. Yeah. All right.
Thank you all
Now,
so much.
I want to find out. Let's jump back to our topic. I want to find out from you, Coach B. How can we define RAPE?
So, what I would say RAPE is having any form of sexual intimacy with someone without the person's consent.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you hear me?
I was following, but at one point it got stuck. It got
Okay.
frozen.
So, what I said
Correct.
is RAPE is having any form of sexual intimacy with someone without the person's consent.
Okay, that's forcefully having an intimate encounter. Let me put it that way
Intimate,
with
yeah,
someone.
intimacy with someone without that person's consent.
Now, before we jump deep into the topic, I want to give shout out all of you coming and see you. Ngonkwita, I see you. I mean, all my beautiful natural women, I see you all. Now, I want to find out from you, Coach B. There is something I hear that happens in the Western world, which I think you are in a better position to enlighten us about that of couples having cases like my husband RAPE me and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Is it possible for couples to be victims of such?
Very much. Yes.
Now, how possible is that? Because in our in our African context, like in Cameroon, for example, with the numerous weddings which I have been part of and I have witnessed, in most of the cases, you would see the mayor or the officiating person indicating clearly like this is this and this is the food for the man. You shouldn't deny him his food and so on and so forth. Any day he wants it, he should have it, and so on and so forth. What is your thought on this, Coach B?
I'll say the way people take that literally is what makes some women or men in their marriages to become slaves to the other person. So you do not own any human being. Marriage, as we know, is equally two people that love each other and want to spend their lives together, coming together in agreement to live
Yeah,
together. And so everything they need to do in that relationship has to be on the basis of agreement, including
yeah.
intimacy. And so if there's a time when you want to be intimate and I am not ready to be intimate, maybe for personal reasons, for health reasons, for psychological reasons, whatever those reasons will be, you should be able to understand that I just cannot do it now. If you
Mhm.
forcefully do it, you're definitely doing what we call RAPE, because what makes it RAPE is it's not my consent, I'm not ready for it, and it's definitely going to cause some health damages to my body, because being ready psychologically, emotionally, physically is part of the act. And so if you forcefully do it, the other person is not ready.
Wow. So it's actually possible for couples. Hope couples are getting this because it stands to some other experiences from especially the Western world that we get to know about this. For us in Cameroon, we know when the man wants it as many times as possible, and No matter how he wants it, is to, or not even a man, even the woman. Sometimes we may initiate. Now,
Right.
let's get into the subject matter. When this topic was brought up, there's a story of a girl that was quite pathetic. I've spoken to some. I was told they are not victims. I was told they are survivors. Yeah, I was told they are actually survivors. So
Yes.
I spoke with a couple of them, and there is a story of this young girl that was quite striking. I think I'm going to read from here. For those people who have not yet gone through the page, I posted it in the page and I kept her anonymous as she requested. Now, I want to say welcome Steffi Oswo. I want to say welcome Brianna Adele. I want to say welcome Akum Angel. Akum Angel always asks after Coach B. I want to say
Oh,
welcome Jojo Kim. Jojo Kim,
thank
glad to
you.
have you, Jojo Kim. I'm so glad to have you, Jojo Kim, around. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before proceeding, let's add Chef that way. Hi, Chef. And how? Your
Yeah.
background is
Hi, Chef.
beautiful.
Good evening, Coach Bonita.
Hi.
The coloring is quite artistic.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah.
Thank
Wow.
you, Chef Delway.
Glad to have you always, always, always,
All right,
always,
thank
always,
you.
always,
Yeah.
always. And we will
Yeah.
not just be here, just us. We
Aku
equally
Angel.
we, we equally do have Mama Sita. Let's add Mama Sita. Hi, Mama Sita. Hope you're doing okay today. Today,
Hi,
Mama Sita.
everybody. Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Coach P.
Hi,
Hi,
Mama
Hi,
Sita.
Good
Mama
evening,
Sita. Mama Sita is hiding her beautiful self. She's
This
hiding
one,
her
this
beautiful
one
self.
Please.
is going
I
to
think
show
she
you.
was eating, so let's just give her a
I'm,
minute to wrap up.
I'm babysitting and that disturbing way too much.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Now,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
Chef Daway, how's your Sunday been?
No, a pretty good one for me. Abundance. Yeah. I
Okay,
bought 6 rabbits like a week and some days ago,
wow.
Really?
and coincidentally, one of
Was
the
pregnant.
slave queen, yeah, she put to bed today. Six. It just
One of them
double.
came loaded.
Yeah, one of the slave
Yeah,
queens.
one of them already came pretty much loaded, you know.
Awesome.
So I
Wow,
just smile.
wow. That's really awesome. It
Yeah,
means the
yeah.
guys where he was not joking. They were not joking.
But I just wonder why someone would say a rabbit that's pregnant, a pregnant rabbit,
He
instead of
probably
keeping
Wow.
that
didn't know.
instead of keeping that to grow his farm, he's selling to get quick money.
I don't think he knew, except he's probably just desperately needed some money.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
All right, that's awesome. I mean, that's beautiful. Farming, I believe someday we might create a particular program for you to educate us, especially those in Africa and even those out of Africa, on the
Yeah.
significance of farming and making more money,
Yeah.
making a life from farming. I always
Yeah,
hear
yeah, yeah.
farming is quite lucrative. I always hear farming is something worth investing in. But when we hear like that, we don't know how to go about that. So good enough we have people like Chef that could come in subsequently in a very planned program just for that.
Yes. That would be a subsequent program. It will be super
Okay.
interesting, you know. We need to talk about agriculture sometimes. Yeah.
All right. Before you came in, we were talking about RAPE. We agreed that we are going to be talking on RAPE. Please, those of you connecting, do your best to share, share, share,
Or you
share,
can
share.
just say knack.
Okay, knack is mutual. Okay, let's just
It's
use knack.
But not by force. Not with
Forceful
power,
knack.
but not with
By
force.
force
Okay,
knack.
okay.
yeah,
Okay, yes.
because
Okay, yes. Okay, I get it. Okay, say very again we're talking about knack with power. You see,
Mm.
so it's a
Mm-hmm.
phenomenon that is. I came to understand that this is quite rampant in the society. That is, as I would say, 4 out of every 10. I would say about 40% girls we see today are survivors. When I talk of survivors, you should understand they are victims. Yeah, of this. Some go through.
40%. Isn't that too much?
No. With the rate of people I have spoken with, I couldn't really imagine, and their own experiences. Because one of them went through a therapy session, and the ladies she saw there, it was like, wow, This is this is this is alarming. You see. Well, let's just
Yeah.
say 30% because a lot of people are actually a victim of this. Wow. Mama Sita, glowing always all natural. Glad to have you on board,
This
Mama
one,
Sita.
this one is
Dante.
the
Keep it
always
going.
busy. I have to. This why my camera is off. This one.
Oh, I get. All right, okay. Like we were saying, we're talking about knocking by force. So this is a phenomenon that is very rampant with many people. And now I was about reading the story of this young girl that contacted because I have
Okay.
some their request was to stay anonymous, such that their request was to stay anonymous actually.
Of
Now this one
course.
says good morning, boss. I must applaud you doing for the work you're doing, impacting the society positively. I'm getting to you right now. Regards the topic you put up. My name is blah 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 blah, and I'm a young girl of 25. I'm actually a victim of knacking by force, and I've lived with this for 12 years. I was deflowered by one of our neighbors in Bamenda when I was still in Form 2. And I was 14 years old and I was living in Bamenda with my aunt. And in the compound, there were other neighbors. We were more or less a family, and there was this man I could estimate in his early 30s. He was a teacher in our school and our neighbor. He lived alone in a room in the compound. Sometimes my aunt used to give him food since she sold food, and sometimes I'll go to deliver food to him. That's how I got familiar with him and saw him like an uncle, not knowing he had ulterior motives. This fateful Saturday, my aunt had gone to the farm and I was just with him in the compound. He came and asked if there was food. He wanted to buy some. I told him no, but there are some that my aunt didn't sell yesterday, that's the previous day. But there was no meat. He said no problem. And I said, should I serve it to him in his and he said, no, okay. And I said I should serve it to him in his room. Sorry. As naive as I was and seeing him as my teacher, I didn't have a second thought. I served the food and took it to his room. This experience is the worst ever of my life. Boss got to the room and saw my teacher bare body putting on pants only. At that point, I was so uncomfortable because that was strange. But he looked at me and asked, "What's the matter?" In surprise, I shook my head. He said to me, "Sit down," and I obeyed. He started making funny advances towards me. I was just so surprised witnessing this kind of behavior from my teacher. And I was like, before long, he pushed me and had his way on me. I tried to scream to no avail. He closed my mouth and told me to scream again. He's going to tie me and bury me, and nobody would know my whereabouts. Boss, that's how I lost my dignity. When he finished, he told me I'm a big girl now, and that if I open my mouth, he will make sure he wipes out my entire family. My aunt came back and met me. She asked what's wrong. I just told her I wasn't feeling well, and that was it. I've never really had the urge to have knacking, and the trauma made me lose self-esteem. I can't say I'm healed. Till date, I'm still depressed. I meet good guys, but we don't last because I don't actually enjoy knacking. Boss, please, when talking in this, consider reading my story, but keep me anonymous. Thanks so much. I'll be following. All right, that's what's up. This is a story of a young girl. Like it's clearly, like we clearly read out. Coach B, what can you give to this girl?
Mm. First of all, I would like to connect to her
Mhm.
as a
Okay.
life coach and
All right.
see how I can support her. And if she needs actual therapy, I can also link her up with a therapist for free so that she can work with that person. And then what I got from that story, again, I want to appreciate who that young lady is for the courage reaching out to you. That is the first step to her healing. So she will definitely be healed. After talking about it to someone, that's the very first step to healing because they the trend of these kinds of acts is that people who are survivors, again, we previously called them victims, but we don't want them to feel like victims. We want them to feel like they are survivors. So these kinds of survivors do not feel comfortable talking about it to someone. And
Mm-hmm.
until they trust you enough, that's when they can talk about it. And I do not also recommend anyone telling anyone anything without the hope of having any help from that person. So it's just going to be contributing to giving information that people will take out there as gossip. But if you tell someone something, knowing that this person can help you with advice or with a way forward, that's the basis of telling someone your problem. So
Yeah.
if you listen to that story, you can tell that the perpetrators of this act are not far away. They're always very close.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, there are consequences to this act. And those consequences can last for a lifetime. So it's very important that if you've gone through this, I would say it again, talk to someone you trust, and that someone you trust must not be a family member, must not be a friend, must not be your teacher, must not be anyone close to you. It could still be a coach, it could still be a therapist or to a doctor when you go to the hospital. Secondly, when you go through these kinds of act, there's so many things that can happen. From a woman's standpoint, 14 years old, you could carry a baby. Same thing, you could carry a disease. So it's very important that you talk about it so that you can get the right test, get treated, so that you don't carry illnesses into your future. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I'll leave it there because there's a lot we can digest or maybe get out of that story. But I want people to take note of the fact that the perpetrators of these acts are always very close, they're not from far away.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's awesome, Coach B, Chef. What do you have to add up to this?
Coach B has said it all.
Mm-hmm.
She's a coach and she's recommending a therapist, which is the best. Yeah, I think
All right.
when it comes to this particular incident, she already has a solution. And the
Yeah.
first step, like Coach B put it, opening up is actually the first step to healing. Yeah,
Mm,
she's open up, and a lot of people online drop their opinions, talk to her. That alone is a stepping stone, like starting point to healing. Now, I'll just advise her to follow exactly what Coach B said to her. Let her get in touch with Coach B and let her link her up to with a therapist. I think that would be a good way, a good place to start.
all right. Now, there are ways which I want us to handle this conversation. Three: before, during, and after.
Yep.
Those three things, because most of the time we focus on talking on the we focus to put a lot of emphasis on the people not taking the right measures that could be done to prevent this. Because I want to believe if this little girl was properly oriented, because in the course of this, I met some others. There's another that was deflowered at the age of around 8. She sent me her voicemail and she went to actually carry water. You know, in the village here in water, there's man picking water, then woman water day. So this girl was going to carry water, and there was somebody bathing by the side. The person was telling her that okay, as small as she was, convincing her that he wants to bathe her first, and before you notice, he had his way in and by force. Let me put it that way. And the other one had that with a knife on the head. Yeah, the knife on the head. Now, I think with this, let's start with the tender age ones and then we'll go now to that of adults because there's another that is going to gear us to that of adults. I spoke with a couple of them. Now, with the tender aged ones, I think if parents could take in more precautionary motives, especially with the female children, it's going to really help reduce a lot. For example, the case study we are talking about here, if this lady, sorry, if this lady actually had proper orientation. There are basic ABCs to female parenting. If anybody touch, I will tell my father, if you see this, you run away, if this and that. There are basic codes that can be used. Just the fact that she got in and saw the man dressed in a certain way, it was a sign for her to run away. Then number one. Number two, don't even get into that room.
Mhm.
I remember when we were much more younger, we have a big family, both boys and girls. You see, at a certain stage, you don't go to the girls' room even by mistake. I mean, from home, you have that notion that you don't get into the girls' room, such that even as you grow up, as grown up as you are, you know that you don't get into the girls' room. You see, if you implant those knowledges, that knowledge in the mind of the children, I believe they grow up with it. And if you say come to my room, I say no, 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 no. You see, so those befores, coach, what do you think? And what are the possible measures that could be taken by parents to avoid the violation of these little ones?
Awesome. Thank you, Wacom. And I think I want to first of all appreciate you for creating this awareness, because this is something that we need to talk about every day. And talking
Mhm.
about it for the younger kids and our responsibility as parents, I want to think that when you are raising kids, the goal is to protect that child when you are not available. So if you're around that baby, if you're around your child all the time, 247, you would always be there to protect them. So how do you build that child in a way that if you are not around them, they can protect themselves? It's as easy as letting your girl child know, if anybody touches you in such places, you need to let me know. If you find yourself in such places, you shouldn't be there until this time. If
Yeah.
any group of kids tell you to go play hide and seek with them, do not dare do that, or come back to me with that. If you go to the stream and someone beckons on you and say, come, you don't go if you don't know this person. And even if you know this person, you don't go too close to this person. And I don't want us to neglect the boy child. I would
Oh
tell
yes.
you from my experience, they are the most survivors from this. It's just that women, as you know, naturally women are more vocal. Women are considered the vulnerable, and so they have avenues to talk about this more than the boy child, and more than the men. So because women are talking about it more, it has made people to be blindsided from what is happening to the men. But it's happening to young boys every day. And older women are doing that to them, or even older young girls are doing that to them. So it's about you building that mindset from the home. Even if you have a girl child, it has happened with siblings. It happens a
Yes.
lot with
Yes.
siblings. So
Yes.
having your
Very
girl child and your boy child sleep in the same room when they've started exploring their bodies is a problem. So I think those are things that as parents need to start doing, maybe talking about that, having that education with their kids while they are very young, because the schools are doing their job. So what are we doing as parents?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because some
That's
kids mature,
that's
children mature differently. At 8, you can see an 8-year-old little girl that already has different, her body
forms.
is
Yeah.
already changing. And you can
Yeah.
see, yeah, same thing. So when you have
Health,
your child, as the
health
child
brain
is developing, you need to step in to
Yeah.
educate that
Could be.
child.
Yeah, because we evoked something very, very important. I remember about sometime last year, I was talking with a friend of mine who has kids. He has about three or four kids. Now, boys and girls. Now, what we're discussing was like, I said, they are picking at the big O. He said, yeah, they're the big O. I said, hey. And I don't know how we came to a discussion, but I made mention of the fact that the boys and the girls should start, they should be separated. And you will notice from a male perspective, and I speak with other males, most boy children, their first encounter with knacking or intimacy is usually done by one big auntie.
Yep.
That big auntie can be even 18 years or 16 like that
Yep.
on a 8-year-old boy.
Mhm.
Yeah, you see, one guy that worked with me, he was like, when he was small, his mom left him with with one lady, the neighbor. Ah,
And
in my
even
mom,
babysitters.
they don't press picking, press picking. He himself, sorry, it's funny, but he get as it be. You say, Mrs. F, I never even know what did happen. Did the LA press me, press? So this is what happens, especially with like babysitters, like you said, siblings, like you said. Those in a big compound, when the children come for holidays, the cousins meet their cousins, and when you mix like that at night, they kind of not. No. So that
Yeah, it
already
starts with hide
happening.
and seek, and they would like
Yes,
to pair up.
yeah, and even from childhood, you notice there's hide and seek, and very soon you look for John and Mary, you will not see again.
Yep.
Yeah, so
That
those
happened.
days.
I know this because when I was growing up, I grew up in a community where sometimes, again, my mom raised me to be so scared of men. That was the way she did it. She was like, a man is, don't, when you see a man approach you, you need to run. That's what I'll
Mhm,
literally do. But there were times when we would go to these empty houses that they are still building, and we'll
mhm.
be doing hide and seek. And those older guys will be like, let's do it in pairs, boy and girl,
Yes,
boy and
yes,
girl, boy and girl.
yes.
And you know what happens when they do that? Some people will just disappear. You will not find them again.
Yeah, you look for them, you wouldn't see them,
John and Mary, John and
and
Mary don't disappear.
yeah, John and Mary don't disappear. You see, sometimes they will catch some and they will go and report to their parents. They'll be flogged and all of that. So these are key aspects which parents, to me, I think parents need to really play a major role. And also the kind of people you entrust to your children. There are some children, when your child starts refusing to go to a particular person, I think you should question that, because sometimes children can be threatened. You hear this girl, she thought she was threatened. I encountered somebody about 3 years ago, a lady. She told me her experience. Her house was with actually the uncle, the boyfriend of her aunt. The guy came and did it severally with a knife on her head. That if she opens her mouth, she's going to eliminate the entire. So there are different motives that are used to actually intimidate these children, and it makes in such a way that it's very difficult for them to speak out. They might come and speak out maybe after 10 years,
Yes.
when they have lived for that 10 years with all of those things. So I think parents need to build that strong bond, that strong relationship with their children, to understand. Especially there's this uncle that you want to send your child to go for holiday, say you don't want to go to that uncle. Bring the child close and find out. You see,
Yes.
there's this particular person. I mean, somebody, especially somebody that have been to, or somebody that they have maybe they have had one or two meetings just by themselves. There are
And
other
even
big girls, neighbors.
the child opens up, most parents
Yeah.
will not believe the child. Most
Yes.
parents will cover it up, especially depending on who that family
The,
member is.
yes, the
Yeah,
relationship. Yeah.
yes. So I
Yes.
know of parents that have covered up these kinds of acts because
Yeah.
of the relationship they have with the person who perpetrated the act. Who are
Yeah.
you
And
hurting? Are you hurting your
sincerely,
child?
that it's really something that goes around. Chef, I don't know. You have anything to add up to this?
Yes, I would like to say, like I always said, um, the beauty of every relationship is boundary.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people come out talk how they were forcefully raped. Oh, I'm using that word. The cap
They
are,
were not campus.
they were forcefully knocked, right?
Yeah.
But there is a whole lot of people, like women, you never hear them come out to talk. Theirs was some kind of psychological.
Yeah.
Yes, why I started by saying the beauty of every relationship is boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You have an uncle, and that uncle comes to your house, and that uncle is calling your daughter my wife, my
Mm-hmm.
wife, my wife. Maybe picking big
Yeah.
quick. Yes, those kind of ones, they sleep with this kid, they first of all create this kind of familiarity. They become familiar.
Yeah.
Like every gut is lose, you lose your gut. You don't check,
Right.
you don't get to calculate them anymore. They come so friendly. These are actually the ones who are really, they are super dangerous, like
Yes.
pretty much dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Your daughters, like what happened to this particular case we're talking about, she went
Yeah.
into that room. What maybe the aunt or the mom already put that restriction. You don't need to be comfortable around men like that. But this particular man came like an angel,
Mm-hmm.
buying things for her, gifting her, and stuff like that. And now every card is loose. Then it happens that
Mm-hmm.
if you want to carry out like a statistic on it, you get to realize that those who are victims from such cases are too many. There are
Yes.
many out
A
there,
whole
and
lot.
those kind of people, you don't ever hear them talk. They'll
Right.
just sit
Yes.
like dying inside, going through their traumas and stuff.
Yeah. Like like
So
like okay.
parents, you talk about the three parts before how we can prevent this.
Yes.
Parents should learn how to set boundaries. Yeah, not everyone should just come and get familiarized with your kids. Not everyone should just come and say, "My how that picking the how," or you're already calling her your wife. You want to
Mm-hmm.
get familiar with her, and you start gifting her, and she sees you to be an uncle,
Yeah.
whereas you therefore background the touch her thing. You therefore background the touch her thing.
Chef.
So that's actually a preventive measure. Education,
Mm-hmm.
sex education. For us
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, we see sex education to be a taboo,
I know.
something
Yes.
we're
Yes.
away from, which is something we should be talking about every day. Like the other day in the group with the natural women, we're talking about knacking, knacking. We're using the word knacking, and they're saying knacking, knacking, like they need a knack. They come now in public, they want to act like knacking is a taboo. Sex
Mm-hmm.
education is a must. It's a
Mm-hmm.
must. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
It's a
educate the
must.
children, you tell them these particular things, so, it's a no-go area. All these uncles, all these uncles who come
Yeah.
with sweet bonbon, sardine, bunny fish, the gear picking, it should not happen. You should be able to get your avail those things for your kids. Now
Yeah.
you maybe you're there, you cannot avail these things for your kids, and someone is coming. That's already a program. They're installing a program in the minds of those kids, and that program will actually override
Your own
every other
program.
program you've installed in the minds of those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it is chop, it is sweet, it's coming from then we have
Oh.
parents too with langa no will leave them. When they come with
Mm-hmm.
the bunny fish and stuff like that, they are always the first to jump on it.
Yeah.
Cases that I've seen, like people would talk to me, they actually those the men came like angels.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Coach B, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
The beautiful part of Cameroon is that we actually enjoy the beautiful network that is rendered to us.
I know.
A while ago, I was wondering how I'm going to cope today because my service provider was not active from morning till around 7 p.m.
What?
So it's usually that horrible. Chef talk of some very key points. Chef talk on key points that was boundaries, and that is really very essential. I remember one time I used to have this neighbor around where my studio is, and it's a girl. They usually live in isolation. One time I saw her coming back from school. I picked her up and I dropped her. I don't know if her aunt saw it or who saw it, The next time when I was passing, she used to greet. The next time she looked at me as though she does not know me. I understood that definitely they have set boundaries on her. And I was like, that's really good as a parent. I appreciated the parent for that. At times I speak more with her aunt even, and I appreciated just that gesture. You know, somebody will pick up the girl. I mean, university girl actually. Yeah, somebody will pick up your daughter, and you just sit and allow it. They'll see something like that, and very soon they'll go for ice cream, and very soon before you know, other things happen. So it's really good. Chef, are you stable now? I think we can march on. Yeah, he's still frozen. All right,
It's
no problem.
frozen.
And
I
he
want,
talked about
So, but he said something about sex education, which I think is
yeah.
also very important because it's as easy as we think that having that kind of conversation with our kids, especially in the African setting, it feels like it's a taboo.
Mhm.
It's not a taboo. It
mhm.
doesn't mean you should
Can
train
you
the
hear me now?
child on the act.
Can you
You're
hear me,
just
guys?
educate. We can hear you now,
Yeah, we
Chef
can
Dawes.
hear you.
Oh my.
All right, Coach B, I think you can just land so
Yes.
he fires
So
on.
it's about letting them know their sexuality because when you as a mother, when you are bathing your girl child, what do you tell that child?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're bathing your boy child, what do you tell them? It's as
Mm-hmm.
easy as start by telling that child, as I am washing your wee, no other person touches your wee.
Mhm.
Oh yes, the
No
coat, the
one
coat.
else touches your
Oh
wee.
yes,
And so, by default, if someone else were to approach that child by touching their wee, it's a problem. And she'll
oh
definitely
yes,
run to you.
That's very
Do we
true.
even do those basics? And that's why the kids even grow up and a girl will start thinking that she can be a boy because they don't even understand their body. So that
yeah,
is the level at which we can be granular. Just start from those basics. And even when their body is developing, you follow suit. Like you're having conversations with this child. By the time you'll be 8, this is how you will feel. This is what will change in your body. Even though the school is doing their part, but you need to program your child, just like Chef Dawai said, so that your programming will be the superior program in that child.
yeah.
And any other programming will not be that strong enough to consume that child. I think
So
Mama
true.
Sita was saying something.
Yeah,
No,
Mama.
I don't know if you guys mentioned it. Even the sorry, I went off because of those kids. I had to
All right,
move.
all right,
Yeah. So another thing, I don't know, is the way we dress these days is like we are almost naked when we go out.
all
So
right.
so be
Yeah,
mindful where you go and dress almost naked because
yeah.
it's not every day that you come back safe. Men, some men cannot even control themselves. When they see you almost half naked, now some people just wear bra and then they're out. They wear this thing, something that we used to wear inside.
I'm
They wear it
telling
like
you
that
now.
and just move around. Just imagine you went out and you were coming, especially back there in PE. You went out and you could not get maybe a taxi on time to come back, and you're coming back late, and you see a bunch of boys standing. What do you expect? So whose fault is that now? So that's the thing. We should be mindful of what we dress and the occasion and where we go and what time we're coming back. Because I remember one time when I left Boya, I went to see my father. I went a bomb church they were house, so my pa drive me, say ma go where, and I said I said the make and the call boys there for myself. So we parents, if we can also educate our kids on how they dress
Yeah,
and go out, it will
yeah.
be nice. Yeah, they should know because some boys are so tempted by what we wear.
Now,
Mama Sita, wake up
Mhm,
before you say that. Mama Sita, it's not just limited to the way they dress before they go out, even the way they dress at home.
mhm.
Because I recently spoke to a family that the father is doing this to his girls.
mhm.
Wow.
So, how do they prevent it?
Mhm.
I
And the
think,
mom is
yeah,
covering
yeah.
it. So, it's a
I
cultural thing also. So, but
Now
that's a great point.
I had this story. A girl came and the show. I met with the mother, and this man was from Kondengi. Mm? We all know Kondengi, right? So
Yeah.
this man, they showed me the little girl. That little girl should be 6 or
Wow.
8, that age group. He said this man came and the woman and the man were no longer together. So he said he wanted to see the child. He gave the child to that man. The man took he gave the child, he sent the sister with the man with the child. The man forcefully had his way on that child and ran away. They came and met the child in the pool of blood, the sister. Because when I gave him to the father, the sister came back. When the sister wanted to come and take the child back, that's what she found. When the man like, sometimes you don't know whether to categorize it as a spiritual thing or demonic thing. You don't know whether it's perversion. Like, you really try to figure out how somebody, a grown-up man, 30, 35, with a very fat something and can, I mean, it's not, it's something not even thinkable. You get so.
See, that one is even better. There was one guy. This one is the white guy. See, that guy. He made a video of him doing the same thing with the. It's like the guy with the baby was not even up to a year. When I saw the video, I almost collapsed. All thing do me. He is making a video laughing, and the baby is screaming. At some point, the baby just, like, I don't know, just gave up as if she was not even alive anymore.
Yeah, there is one thing which I want to find out there. Chefs talk also, like, when we're getting, you see, it's always this, they are not always far, always this uncool, or always this.
They're always close people. People you know them most of the time.
Yeah. Now we have this culture in Africa. Growing up, I know most people, out of respect, we call them uncle, auntie, and stuff like that. Do we
Yeah.
think that culture should be reviewed, or do you think it's something nice that should be promoted? Because already calling somebody uncle, okay, for example, in our house, my dad had a bar, and there were some people coming there. Sincerely, I knew that were related by blood, but growing up, I came to understand that a lot of them were not actually related. And imagine growing up knowing these people had some bond with us and stuff like that. You understand?
Mhm.
And now, do we think, and there are other people in the neighborhood that we call uncle, auntie, uncle, a girl child will see one uncle that is that's your own uncle's friend and call uncle. Uncle will give her bonbon. Let me give you a case study. There's a man that used to have he has a store in our neighborhood here. That man, he left. He just came out from behind the counter because he's an expert when it comes to small children. And what he uses is bonbon, bonbon, bonbon. You
Mhm.
see, you send your child to go to the store. For the child to go and buy and come back, the child will go and buy and go behind the counter, and the man will be giving
Ah,
bonbon and passing through other places that his hand is not supposed to go to. The man is an expert. It makes such that people have not started wanting their children. If I catch you, you see. So they use these small things to entice. Do we think we should promote this culture of us calling others uncle, auntie, or do you think it's something that there are boundaries just to avoid all on benefits, all unfortunate
Mm.
circumstances? Just say we should not just call this person, this person, because abroad you will see, I think some children even call their fathers by their name. you see,
see, I call my supervisor by her name.
you
The thing
see,
is, we Africans, we respect too much. So I
yes.
think
So
the calling somebody uncle, auntie is like a sign of respect to me.
you
We are,
see,
yes,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
I think it's normal, but
It's normal to
child,
call that uncle, auntie, but when that auntie and uncle they give a lot, that's when it becomes a problem.
no, the
That
point
mhm.
gift,
is, how do you
most
know?
of these kids they
Oh,
come to format their own program. It is like when you're raising dogs, right? You feed them at a certain hour. If maybe a thief is coming to scale your fence, they'll come and throw meat to them. When it's not their time to eat, they'll definitely not eat. They will not eat.
mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's the same way we should raise our
Because
kids.
you see, these kids, when they call uncle, it creates a kind of bond. If you look at the story of the girl that we talked about, I'm sure she did not see the type because first, it's her teacher. Two, is her uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle. I
And they
can feel.
trust when they call you uncle, they already trust you that I guess you can't do such things.
Yes, I can feel uncle. Some are actually stepfathers, but that's another ball game. Now, there's another thing which I want us to look at. That this part was for those in kids, which has to do a lot with parenting, the parents
Mhm.
of those children. There's another part of it which I want us to look at. That is that of the mature people. I mean, girls, I talk about mature, not really old people. I mean, people in their teens, those of the
Mhm.
18, 21, 20, the smaller ones like that.
Just the adult.
Yeah, because I had the story. I met one actually, and I was like, okay, when I was contemplating on the topic, knocked by force, and we're like, okay, one of them, I met her in person. She was like, she herself is a victim. I said, seriously? She said, yes. Okay, I say, so
Mhm.
what's up? Okay, we met this guy. I'm not sure of this, and finally we went to his house because I was not really sure of this and that, and if you want to get into a serious relationship or not. And before long, you notice the guy started using force and definitely one shift by force. He did not just enter by force; he manhandled her. I said, "But why didn't you scream?" He says there
Mhm.
were neighbors there, and she was trying to scream, but nobody actually.
Correct.
Yes. Now this is the thing: how do we handle those with mature? But that's one case. The next one was a lady. She said, this one is even understandable that they were together, they went out and then they shared some bottles. She only discovered herself in the guy's home. You get? Now, that is for those that are quite compromising because you notice the situation itself to really categorize it. Yes, it might be knocking by force, but categorizing it might be really, really complex. Another came to her house late. She sent a voicemail. When she wanted to open the door, she just had a knife on her neck. She just give everything you have. She had about 9,000 something she gave. And then she told her, just follow me to where we are going to. Her own story. They pointed the knife until they went to our completed building and the man,
Wow.
you see. So those are different stories. Those girls that are already of age of maturity, let's say 18 above or even 16, those that can reason a little bit. What can be done as preventive measures for this? Because there is a thin line between luring a woman or a girl to knock and actually forcefully knock. A lot of ladies, you're already friendly with a guy, you know for sure that this guy like this want to just knock, and you're already friendly with a guy, and the guy will be there, and very soon you enter 1 2 1 2. The next thing you notice is in the guy's mind, he believes that okay, man, just play strong, should not chop Martin. But in your mind, maybe you don't really want it genuinely. And finally, he
Mhm.
gets in. You don't know whether he did it forcefully or you actually enjoyed it. So there's that thin line. What word? How can we do to actually moderate this among children, among girls? I'll use girls because they're the ones that are quite verbal
No,
about
among
this.
Most
young
vocal.
people.
Okay,
Mhm.
Among young people.
among young people,
Let's
what
not
could be done
negate.
to actually moderate the rate of this amongst young people? Could be. What do you think?
Right. So
I think it's a little
when
bit
we
stable.
talk about when we talk about the factors that contribute to this act, you would
Yeah.
see that there's peer pressure. There
Mm-hmm.
are psychological factors, there are societal norms that contribute to this. There are people that go out there and they just want to exert power and control over other people. So once we get to that age where we are excited about some of these things, I will lean
Mm-hmm.
back to Chef Dawai's point on sex education. It's very important. Now,
Yeah.
as a woman, if you are the vulnerable or the weaker gender, once you find yourself in the midst of guys who are stronger than you, meaning you are at the wrong place at the wrong time, there
Mm-hmm.
is bound to be consequences, and some of those consequences can be acts like this. And then, secondly, you could also be influenced by friends to be in an environment where you do not want to. You could also be unfortunate to have willfully agreed to be close to someone who struggles with a psychological issue that has affected their ability to control their sexuality. And before you know it, it happens that they forcefully do it. And that's because they are sick in the head. It's not like they're normal. So every normal person should be able to control their instincts and all of that. But if they cannot do it, it's either because they are willfully taking control over you, or they are struggling with a psychological issue. And that's why they are doing it. So making sure that young people, once they are in that age group, should be able to make good choices of the people they associate themselves with. Meaning, if you're going out at night, you should have someone that you really trust going out with you. Secondly, if you are choosing someone that you want to explore other things with, you should be mindful that this person probably has incurred some traumatic events in the past and is still dealing, because there are so many men that have gone through this same act, or maybe are victims, or let me say survivors of the same act, and it has made them to be acting in a different way, not naturally, and they probably still need to heal. And while they are going through it, they are meeting women,
Mm-hmm.
they're meeting other women, and they are doing the same thing to these women. So there are consequences to all this act. And I want to think that it all falls back to education and creating awareness. Because if the young people are aware that there are these dangers out there, they will definitely be more guarded not to be victims. That's what I'll say.
Wow. Wow, awesome. Chef, it looks like Chef is a little bit stable now. Chef, are you steady?
That connection like it unstable small. So
All
we'll
right.
see when we talk this rape thing here. When we talk this rape thing, um still on it. This also knocking
Knock
thing.
my first.
So it's not only forceful. So one then they way the knock by
Yes,
tricking.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, truth or dare.
Also, the
Yeah,
truth.
you have girls, they'll take you to places that you are not supposed to be, and before you know it, you're already playing games. You're playing games, and before you know it, you're naked, and they're
Mm-hmm.
knocking you. Yeah, so we should try to educate them about this. For this forceful knocking stuff, yes, there's so much you can do to prevent it as a girl child. You don't go out late. You don't go drinking with people you don't know. Why drink at all, even as a girl? Just try to drink with your man once to a time like that, and just try to take care of yourself. But on these other ones, like you're having a guy who's not man enough inviting you for a program, there are guys who go extra length as to drop the drinks that the girl is going to drink. So we should be aware of this as well. You should be pretty much aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think your first date should be in a public place, not behind
Yeah,
closed doors. Yeah,
Very
in a
true.
public place that you
but
trust and stuff like that. Yeah, you want to ask something? Huh?
yeah, there is this trick that is used now. There, some months ago there was a trendy topic in Nigeria where there is Afiba and Celine. I don't know if you people are familiar with that story. Afiba and Celine, and it happens to be two ladies that went to meet a man on a, I don't know if it's a casual date or for whatever reason, but the chat that was circulating was that they were going to give him a three and some, so they were going to do it that way,
Yeah,
and it happened. This man has already been familiar with them. This man was already talking with them, and this man, when they got there, those girls were never seen again. Now
that one
this
is a
man,
whole different thing. Ritual killing. It's a whole
yes,
different thing. You don't
he
go,
did it by
you don't
force
go
and
around
finished.
you don't go around fire and expect not to sweat. It's impossible. Yeah,
Most of the
man,
time
see
you
that
don't know
like
they are that you don't know they are like that.
no,
Thank you,
she's
because
already an officer. She's already an officer. She's going to give sex for money. That's why I said you don't go around fire expecting not to sweat. So that's a
now
whole
there are other
different thing.
victims.
If like
There are other
two
victims
girls
that
going
came.
to knock threesome and stuff like that, they should be aware
Now,
that like things like that
now,
happen. Like they'll
Chef,
use them do that money. They'll use them make that money.
for there are other victims that came out to talk about it, their own experiences, because this man is like he's a serial knacker by force, and then he finally like that. See, one came in. One was a gym instructor. You know, we start by being familiar. If you watch this guy's video, you know you have seen an angel. Hey, how are you? So nice with this British accent in a place like Awara where people are the way they are. You see, it actually creates an impression. Now, familiar, nice. I've just met such a nice man, and all of a sudden, come and do the job at my place. This girl was a gym instructor, and definitely maybe she does some massage and some other things. She was going for that, and when she went there, she was never seen again. Now, this man, the aspect of the disappearance is one part of it. There are some people that are powerful that will actually have their way and beat you, and with the influence and the way things operate in some of these places, you will not do anything afterwards. You understand? Because be
Yeah.
you're muted. Yeah. So with the way they are, you will
You'll
not
not
do
do anything about it in Africa. The reason why this thing is so rampant in Africa is because there are no legal consequences. And even there, if there are legal consequences, you need to have connection. And people are so timid to even talk about it. In the West, you will not go free, like you're
Mhm.
condemned for life. And so because of the legal consequences, even the perpetrators will be very, very strategic, to Chef Dawai's point, rather
Mhm.
trick to get it rather than do it forcefully. And secondly, media influence. You see, people have a lot of internet nowadays, and only watching, you can be in the house with someone who is maybe your older brother or your older cousin. And what they do is they watch porn in their room. And when
Yeah.
they get hit, heated up, they
Mm.
now turn to the closest chicken.
Yeah.
So all of
That is
that
that
has
is
influenced these acts. And Chef Dawai, I think he hit a great point. I know nowadays people are meeting on social media, but when you
yeah.
meet someone on social media, please do not go see this person in a private place. It should be in a public setting. Go to a
Yes.
restaurant, go to a mall, go to somewhere open. Don't go to this person's house. It's very risky, not
First
just
date
because
in
you
marriage.
they will forcefully knock you, but because you can even lose your life.
That
Yeah.
is so true. That's so true. I want to say welcome to
Coach
Pastor
B,
CF.
Coach B,
Yeah.
have you heard about this game? 7 minutes in heaven is common in the US. 7 minutes in heaven.
No.
Yeah. When I was in China, I had this kid bro who came from the US. He introduced that game. Now we had a lot of African girls. Like my house used to be a hub for Africans. So we're playing this game. Some of us, like some of the girls, then like 8 years ago, they were already used to it. But now they were coming this other time. They came with a pretty much innocent girl who knew nothing. And how this game is done, you use a bottle. There'll be like three guys sitting around in a circle, and there are a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Oh,
gosh, we lost him.
what can we do to this network? Chef is telling us a very interesting, one very sweet thing here.
No.
Hopefully he comes in. Hopefully he comes in. Hopefully he comes in. Now, coach, when we were talking, you made mention of something. Please, those of you come in, do your best to share. See, coach, you made mention of something. These adult rated movies. This is something that should really be watched closely, especially when parenting, because the first encounters children have with these movies The parents is right in the roof of of their homes.
Right.
I, our epoch was deck and VCD.
Yeah.
Now, one thing with VCDs, one thing with VCDs is when somebody is watching his VCD in his house, I don't know what connection it has, but we have one neighbor which if he's watching movie, we could sit in our own house and watch what he's doing from one channel.
Mm.
Wow.
I don't really,
Wow.
yes. So there was this man. I think he was the junior brother and uncle in that house. That house had many girls. When they have gone to school, the man will sit and he'll be watching from one to another one to another one. Imagine the kind of things that
I'm
might
telling
happen
you,
to
nursing
those
the
children.
idea.
Just imagine. And sometimes you even be watching, and maybe the children will be peeping.
Yep.
So this parenting, this loose parenting, is actually a very big ill in this African society. Me, I believe it's not just about money, money, money. Sometimes the time you take to teach them. Chef, like Chef is back. Chef, are you there?
Yeah. That
You were
connection
telling
is
us
really,
about a game.
Yeah.
that connection, the
So you
connection.
said the girls will sit around and then the guys will do
Yeah.
what with the bottle?
They'll
Yeah,
spin the ball, and when it stops spinning, it will face either a boy and a girl. You have
Oh,
7 minutes. You have 7 minutes to get into the room,
yeah.
and before
Whatever.
coming out, you're coming with either her string or her bra. They don't care about what happens in the room. So it got to my turn, and the bottle faced me and that innocent girl. Some guys, when they go into the room like that, they go and force themselves on the ladies, and there's absolutely nothing she can do. They're
Oh my
playing
God.
games. Yeah, I'm saying this story to tell the ladies out there that there are a whole lot of ways um, people can take advantage of you. So you should be
yeah,
wise. And sometimes you get influenced by peer pressure and stuff like that. You
yeah,
go to places, and under the influence of alcohol, you find yourself doing things that you did not plan to do. Mind you, that this forceful knocking is knocking someone against their wish. So by manipulating them into playing a game, that's also qualified to be forceful knocking. So this girl was like, normally when you go with those category, you go like that with those category. If she feel you, you see some movement, but you just see her like. Then when I got to discover like this one, not know anything, I just had to turn. Then she did her job, like remove her bra, then had her dress on, gave the bra. We went out and showed to the public, like, okay, job well done. But let's look at it from another angle. You have a predator with that fresh meat in that room. What do you
Yep.
think becomes of her?
mm-hmm.
Yes,
They
so
will,
we should be
they will
aware.
violate.
Not, I always stand on that point that those who come with knives and guns and stuff like that using force, they are not as many as those who use tricks and stuff
Yes.
like that. So
Yes.
ladies should be aware out. Truth
Yes.
or dare,
That's correct.
when they bring truth or dare around you, run. When they tell you in the party,
Yeah.
when they tell you in the party, we're all adults here, run. Just start run.
Yeah,
When you hear with all adults here, you know it's about to get down. Read it. So you run.
yeah. That's awesome because sometimes with the degree of perversion we have, you would actually you actually see a lady being knocked by force, and imagine the naive ones. Like Chef said, you will just violate the thing, and the friends will be like, "But we are playing a game. Hello,
Yeah, yeah.
it's normal thing." Yeah, I want us to go a little bit to the first encounters of both males and females, like that preliminary stage, the first encounters with intimacy. What point could we evoke Like what quotes? Coach B mentioned some quotes like anybody touch my Yahweh, I'm your parents as
You
I'm touching
see,
your Wii.
like that song that is it this girls in Nigeria? There's that song that the song that went viral like that. I'll be 16 years. If you turn nothing, no, I go tell daddy. Or you
Yes.
know that.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm,
So yeah, that was another way of when this Nigerian thing started. They were still singing sense. Today it's all about Nyash, Bola, and Petus.
yeah,
Nothing
Yeah.
more.
People's,
So you
yeah.
see, even
cassava and
music,
all of
music,
that.
music is an instrument to
To
code and
educate.
program the mind. No, like it's very easy for music. They say music is food for the soul, right?
Right.
So it
Mhm.
penetrates down deep. What you sing every day, you're chanting to, and most of those words are invocation. They get down into you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember even when we were small, one of the ways they made us to actually pay our to actually give our offering in church was they give you money, you take them. God did this year.
We
We used
see
to have
you.
one my mother used to sell akra, which was very interesting, and our most of our offerings went there. Yeah. So the songs we give are one of them. Are there any more quotes you think we could share to some people that are watching for their children? I
Yeah.
don't know, Mama.
I
Coach
think
B.
because again, we know how religion is well established in Africa, and almost every home believes in God, and they are
Mhm.
very religious. Why don't we use those avenues instead of staying overnight on a night vigil? I don't know how they call it, all night. They call it all night.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of spending that time all night struggling to do things that are not supposed to be done, maybe we use those forums, those church settings, those small groups in church. I know when I was growing up, we used to have Sunday school. I don't know if that is still a deal back home,
Yeah,
but those small groups
there's this on the school.
should be avenues to educate those children on these perpetrators, because now I hear these perpetrators also live in church. I spoke to one of my clients who told me that she was deflowered in a church during a night prayer
Wow.
by another brother in that church. So let the pastors, let our men of God use this as an avenue. Let them talk about it in
Yeah,
church so
under
that the young
prepared.
girls and the young boys will not be destroyed at a very young age, because these children are their potentials are destroyed while they are very young. Every
Yeah.
human is very unique. Every one of us has a full potential that we came into the universe to create an impact. And other humans are destroying us while we're still very young. And it's because we've given it on a platter of gold. We've given them
Yeah.
so many opportunities to do so. Why should a child of 8 years old who needs a lot of sleep because they have to go to school be on a night prayer all night? When do they rest? When do they even get ready? Their cognitive mind is still developing. They need a lot of
Yeah.
sleep. And even if they should be in those night vigils, it should be an opportunity to educate those children on all of these harms that surround them. I think that's the one
I think
avenue
this
that I think
this
we should use.
this really this is a very key and vital point because we always look at some of these things as a thing for those who are outside, not knowing that the greater atrocity is done by the persons that have the image of an angel. I
Let
remember
me
talking.
use an example. You know, this Holy Week,
Kind of
this
very
Holy
much
Week, again,
very
nothing
much.
against church. I'm a Christian.
Yeah,
I'm a Christian. You know, this Holy
yeah,
Week where there's Good Friday, there's church services at night, there's
mhm,
rosary, there's this Station of the Cross at night during those night times.
mhm,
Those are trap moments for young people.
mhm,
And depending on where the church is located, a lot happens around the church vicinity during this event. We're out there to praise God. We're out there to remember the things that happened to Jesus Christ during that period. but people are doing very harmful things outside. And so, if we also use those avenues as opportunities to educate these children, it will not I'm sorry, knocking by force will not be happening next door to the church. It's not going to be
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's true. And you forgot to mention rallies, youth
The
rallies.
ones, the ones, the ones who go scot free, the ones who go scot free with their knocking by force are most of these clergies.
There you go.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to talk about. I
Clergies,
have a beautiful
most of
story
the
on that.
clergies they go scot free with their knocking by force. And this knocking by force too is a two-way thing. Most ladies they get to knock the mind of the men. Not everyone is strong in the mind. Not everyone is
Yeah.
Yeah,
strong. Not everyone is strong in the mind. I will repeat this. Be mindful of what you wear. Be mindful of what you wear. So someone is sick in the mind, and you are going to provoke him.
Yes.
You wear
all,
leggings. You wear all sort of things. Now
all
so butcher.
contours.
Now so makandi the shake. You think now all man
Nasty.
know what
See,
know what to
yes,
wear, to go to the gym, because a lot of our sisters they are missing it. You see person
yeah,
will wear kolang. We normally give a well inside kaba or some different thing. Where we give a well and go gym, you do well and work out for road.
yeah,
Then
for road.
that black leggy, he put a red string on top. You see the
Ah,
string just stands so
That's with it.
for the nyash. The worker the
You see, because Mama Sita said something
what
about
you're doing
dressing.
is you're knocking someone's mind by force. You're knocking someone's mind by force. And
Yeah,
not everyone will know, not
wow, that network is quite interesting, eh?
It's really messing with him today.
Yeah, because Mama Sita previously talked about dressing. This dressing of a thing, in fact, the degree of perversion in the culture that has infiltrated the culture is quite alarming. I remember kolang is something that they used to wear in Kaba.
Kolang is even better. You need
In
to see
Kaba,
what people are wearing out here. Kolang is better. Oh. Ah,
today you see somebody wearing it, all the contours are printing and walking in the road. The Kaba now, they don't wear anything inside again. So when we want to pass, you see things, you're already passing messages. So the degree of this perversion, I think, if it is handled properly, it's also actually going to reduce a lot. Imagine you coming home in a lonely road and then you meet somebody where you are putting on a very a strong jeans. Just the stress for him to remove it is say I beg you go. Somebody might
remove
come
that
and catch you.
thing.
You see, but when you're wearing something that is just shift one
Uh,
side like that, it becomes really, really, really,
shift one
really
side.
inevitable. So these are some of the things. And Chef already talked of the clergy. There are lots of clergy. See,
not
one
only
lady,
like this, these people like if you have like maybe your money, you are like I don't know, you this politician they get away with all of this.
yes, I mean those will influence.
Yeah,
Now,
influence. Yeah,
yes, those will influence. We know that they are using hoha. A lot of them do it hoha. You see,
and,
now
and, and, and
this
the worst one is when they do it in the name of God. Most of these brainwashed Christians, they just believe like whatever the man of God is saying is true.
it's
So
true.
they'll go as
see,
far as in the name of God. That's still knocking by tricks, which is still by force.
there
You're
was a
knocking by
story.
tricks. You say, no, I have to be the instrument. I have to be the instrument for the connection between you and the Holy Spirit. Yes, yes, yes. He's speaking. He's speaking. Yes, and before you know it, Mount Zion don't come down. Yes.
Now, this is a story that I want to share that is in line with what Chef is saying. There was this operation hit the land, hit the land. I don't just want to make people to know the people. Let's use Kumba for now. Operation hit the land, Kumba, Operation hit the land, Kumba. Then I brought in one pastor from another country whose name I will not mention. The popular country where we go and bring pastors from. That's why when I brought that one. The guy came and Operation hit the land. They walked around and walked, preach in the market, did evangelize people. They came. Now in this arena, people were coming for after the night program. They have to come and see man of God in the during the day. They came with their oil and whatever. The man of God saw this particular woman. She came with her own oil and stuff. This the code. You have the problem. I am the solution. Dear fake pastors, I'm sorry, but I have to say this thing. So if you meet a pastor that starts with you have a problem, I'm the solution, just run.
What are you sorry for? What are you
So
sorry for?
in fact, I'm not
I know we
sorry. I'm
have
taking apology. I'm not sorry.
evangelists. The
I
good
think
ones, they know we are speaking
Yeah,
from. We are talking about
yeah.
the bad
In
side.
fact, I
So
take
if
back
you
the
want to be
apology.
sorry,
I'm not sorry, actually. So it says, you are the problem. I have the solution. For you to get the solution, the solution needs to meet the problem and get in. That is how see he finished with that woman, and it is simple. You anoint the breast well, anoint it and anoint it and anoint the head, anoint and under. That woman did not sincerely know that the man has actually entered, to be very frank. She knew that she was genuinely praying. It's one small brother works in that hotel. One of our petit friend and that, he came and told her mama because he was a wife to one guy. Let me mention the guy's profession. I don't want anybody to be identified with this story. The guy used to do some things, you see, because he likes, when we have this communal living, you say, Grant, something the way, if I not tell you, go worry me. Yanga don't fall choking for something. He say, wait, he say, no, some person, he explained the whole story. The man came and met the wife. That what happened? The woman said she has not done anything. Sincerely, she knows that she has not done anything. I don't I don't know the degree of brainwashing or what. She started crying, and the man explained the whole process. She started crying. That is how they ended there. He took his children and said, Pastor, I don't just want to eat. In fact, I don't want to hear anything. This is one case study of those who use the holy garments to take advantage of others. Initially, that woman was going to pray. Then before long, you notice it, something else happened. And that young man knew the shemak. There's another case of a young girl. This girl had been a victim of knacking by force severally. Now, she used to actually go, they were in the midst of this clergy kind of people. So some of them used to go on holidays because is this clergy that, I don't want to defame any church here. They don't get married. So they go on holidays. This girl said one time they went on holidays. There was a young boy there that's a deacon, a younger guy, not boy. So she had to go. When they were sleeping, she just heard some hands trying to pass. She hit down now like she saw the guy. We want the guy very seriously. We want him very seriously. And this is how a lot of parents entrust their young children in the hands of some of these people. And they will go and fry and fry and fry and fry and fry and fry without the children knowing. If you open your mouth, God will punish you. If you open your mouth, you will go to hellfire. If you open your mouth, I will pray here. See, these are the kind of things which we should not leave out. These are things which we should talk about. So when the girl children are going somewhere, when they see the signs, you take your road, you run immediately, like you run. These are clear signs that we need to watch. Now, the next thing which I want to say is what are
before you proceed, we come.
all right, yes,
Let's
we are.
there's a new trend of sleepover.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new trend called sleepover. Your kids have friends, and then the friends invite your kids to sleep over at their houses. If
Mm-hmm.
any parent in their sane mind is letting that happen, you're exposing your child to potential harm because every home has its own dynamics. You don't know how the father of that home acts. You don't know if there's a driver in that house. You don't know if there's an older sibling in that house or an uncle in that house. Those sleepovers are a no go. Do not send your child to sleep over in the name of spending time with their friends. If they have to spend time with their friends, go there, create the time, go over there and spend the time, let your child play with their friends, and then you take your child home. Because these sleepovers are also potential traps for this to be happening.
Sleep over, keyword sleep over. Yeah, I think that's quite clear enough. It's quite clear. Now, one thing I want to find out is we've been talking about preventive measures and how sad it is. Now, there's another category of people that I believe are following this life. These are people that have just had an encounter or that have been living with this encounter. What do we really think? What do we really think could be? Let's start with those who just had the encounter. Somebody just took advantage of you. What do we think could be the steps, the proper and the appropriate steps to take as someone who just had that encounter of knocking by force?
I think this point could be already talk on it from when we started. You seek advice, you open up, but not
Mm-hmm,
like what she said, not to family, people who use it against you. You
Mm-hmm.
go
Or
and see a
friends.
coach,
mm-hmm,
you might go to see a therapist. And again, looking at the spiritual side of it, you need cleansing. You need cleansing. And
mm-hmm,
when you talk with these your the coach and the therapist and your mindset is good, the next thing you need to do, you need cleansing. And
mm-hmm,
you should learn to forgive yourself and forgive the person who preyed on you, because the first step towards healing is forgiveness. You have
Okay,
to
also.
forgive. After opening up, you need to forgive yourself and forgive the person. Let nature and let the nature and the law get
Take
hold
it
of that.
slow.
Don't sit and wish it. The more you wish them, like one time I had an encounter with friends. It was pretty horrible. It was super horrible. And every time I would sit, I would think about what I would do to them. So much so that I got chain, I got cage.
Oh wow.
oh,
I got
Very
I
great
got
point.
cage in a prison of my own mind. Yeah, every time I would just be like, I need, just thinking evil about these people. Then
Yes.
one day,
Hi.
Oh
oh,
my.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, he's saying
this
like
con.
the same thing that like I always do. Like if somebody does something to me that is terrible, all I sit and think about is I wish I was a witch to just appear and do something. Like that's what comes in my mind. Is running through my mind. I want to be a witch at that time. I want to do something to that person to feel the same pain I'm feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah, with that, if you don't really forgive yourself, just as he
so
was
that
saying,
that
hmm oh man, if you don't forgive yourself and forgive the person, oh
disconnection.
my gosh,
So
you always
can you hear me, guys?
yeah,
be
we
at,
can hear you.
in the dark. Hmm.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we
We
can
can
hear
Yes.
you. Go ahead.
Chef.
Go
Chef
ahead.
there. Chef, we can hear you 5 on 5.
It is
Yeah,
drinking
not
a
that.
drink.
Okay. That's if you've been at some video, TikTok, shaking your connection will not disturb. This one that we are passing out, is
That is educational.
approaching and connection will come and be playing smeh. Okay. I forgave that guy. I let go, and things began working for me. Things that were initially blocked, they open. So the advice to these new victims: see a coach, see a therapist, forgive yourself, go for your cleansing, and you can cleanse yourself with sea salt and some other things. You just do your spiritual bath and try to disconnect from all those negative energies that that useless man put on you, right? You
Exactly.
Hmm.
disconnect yourself from it and try as much as possible to train your mind not to think about it ever. It's not easy, but mind exercises are something when you start doing them, they just become like automated. They become automated. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's my advice for those who are doing things, you know.
No, Masita, you have something
Okay.
to add up?
No, like I'm in line with what he said because I already said it. I always feel like that. But what most of the time I do is I forgive you, then I stay away from you.
Yeah.
That I don't, yes, so I don't try to like maybe make friends or something. No, just stay away from me. I'm forgiving you. With that, I just like forget about what happened. Because if I keep seeing you,
Yeah,
keep seeing you, it brings bad memories back, and that's what I don't like. So if you can forgive the person and stay away from the person and move on with your life, that would be that would be perfect. And sometimes with this victim, sometimes I feel like when something happens, maybe you should, because it takes years for some people to come out and say it. I feel like
Yes.
if I'm the one, the same day, eh, I have to either go to the nearest police station and report it. Let it be that I said something before the person came, before the person threaten me or something. I know they always threaten you that if you say it, they'll do this and that. Tell the police people this is what happened. Then they can come for the person. I don't know if it requires if you need money to do all those things. Do you need
Yeah.
money
you
to
need money.
report?
You might need
You need
something
money to.
minimal
Yeah, I guess
to open a
uh,
case file. You need something minimal.
I guess that's why some people will be scared to start a case against such people because they might not have the money. But it's always good to go for someone that maybe can defend you. Don't just stay quiet; they'll keep coming back. And the more
Yeah.
like yesterday, I was talking to a friend. The person that did that thing to her was the father.
Hmm.
Yeah. There are
Yes,
cases like that.
so yes, so
That's a
the
cook.
father did it when he was 15 years old, and now he is 34. The
Like
since
that man.
since 15, he has
Wait,
not spoken to the father. Like like he disowned his own her own father. They are not in talking terms.
okay.
Yeah, so they like that's what she was telling me yesterday. I'm like, wait, you are not on social media. How did you know we were going to talk about this today? So she was like just telling me how she's scared of men now. She feels like if she wants to have a relationship, the man might force himself on her. So I'm like, just take it gentle, go for counseling, just as they said, and try to get those bad memories off your head.
Yeah. We have
Mm.
somebody asking this question. Ma, do you think it's easy to tell people you were taken advantage of? Most survivors have this particular crisis.
It's not easy, but talking is something you must do.
It's
And it's
Why
necessary.
not
is
any
it not
kind of
easy?
person.
Why is it
Uh,
not easy? Because we've normalized that. In our
Mm-hmm.
community, we've normalized the fact that when they forcefully knock you, you shouldn't talk about it. It's because
Mm-hmm.
we've normalized it.
Yeah, they
On
take
the
it
other
like
side of
something
the world,
shameful.
it's not normalized.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. So we need to start normalizing the fact that it's okay to talk about it. And if you're on the other side of the person, maybe the person who went through it is telling you, you shouldn't have a misconception of that person. So you don't look at this person as if their own don't finish because this thing don't happen to them. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
because we've normalized it. And
Mm-hmm.
my dear, we need to talk about it. We
Yeah,
have to.
that's
There's a lot
true.
of awareness on
Speaking,
this now.
for
yeah,
sure,
a
for
lot
sure.
of people. It's sad to see that a lot of people, I mean, about 90% of the survivors that I met, they find it bizarre. Some are telling me you are the first person I'm talking to. Some are
Yes,
telling me you are the second.
yes.
Some are saying like it's always 1 2 1 2. None is the third. 1 2. I mean with the
Yeah, we are kind
literal.
of judgmental.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, because
The judgmental people, they dig away from.
yeah. So you see, they find it difficult. This lady, the one lady I met within the week, she told me that when she went, a friend told her that there's a workshop. I think we'll look towards that, organize a workshop for survivors. I mean, subsequently we'll look towards that, so they can freely talk and air their mind and get some professional assistance. Especially as we have Coach B of Elaniel Inspired Services. Yeah, so I think we'll look forward to that, so that survivors can actually freely share their experience. Because he said when she went there, that's when she spoke out. That's when she actually felt some relief in her.
Those are the
Imagine
ways
living.
that people those are the way that people get out of it. I think the way I want to approach this is, how can the community help, and how can the person who is a survivor help themselves? So first
Yeah.
of all, as a community, how can we help to prevent this from happening? Is creating more awareness and educating the community. Secondly, we need to work on reforming our legal process, the legal way of intervening in these kinds of ways. Now, I'm surprised that if I was forcefully nagged and I rushed to the nearest police station, I will need to pay something as a victim to talk about something that is harmful to me and my entire generation. So we need to reform these legal services, even as social intervention. Every hospital needs to have a unit where they take care of these kinds of issues. That someone can rush into the hospital, hey, I was forcefully violated, and the doctors could step in and help run some tests, basic tests, just to make sure that a 10-year-old
Yes.
doesn't get pregnant because they were forcefully nagged. That those basic tests that should happen. And even if this person doesn't feel safe talking about it to their family, they should have a society, community, or community units that will support them. There are so many small groups, survival groups are now existing. Most of them are not really out there for the entire community to know them. But if we have these small groups for survivors to talk about it, make it a normal thing that, hey, this center is just by the corner. If you can come in, I know Youth Affairs has multipurpose youth empowerment centers. I know that there's a Ministry of Women's Empowerment in Cameroon also. What are this? How are they helping young people that are going through some of these things? They should have those small centers within small communities at the district level that young people can run to for safety. They talk about safe houses, meaning people should run there for safety. And those are the things that the community can do. On the other hand, now, if you are a victim of this, how do you help yourself? I'll lean back to what Chef Dawai said earlier. Talk to someone trustworthy, or you can talk to a therapist. When I say trustworthy, it means someone who will not judge you, someone who will not judge you. I think people spoke to you, Welcome, because they trust you. They trust that you're not going to expose their identity. And that's the first thing. You don't go about victimizing a victim or judging someone who is a victim. And then we need to normalize talking to coaches. I know so many coaches might be very expensive to talk to, but I believe that most coaches have their very first consultation is free. So you can talk to a coach. Just that initial conversation is going to take a lot of burden off your shoulder. And then you need to try to also associate yourself with like minded people. By the time you talk to someone who went through it, it will stop you, or it will prevent you from ever being in a circumstance that it will happen again, because you don't want this to be a pattern. I heard you talk about someone who has been a victim more than once. Now, the question
Yes.
to this person is, what am I doing wrong? Why am I attracting this on me? And that's where cleansing comes in. You need to do your personal cleansing. And cleansing doesn't mean someone should cleanse you. You can cleanse yourself by forgiving yourself first, and then doing a natural cleansing, which is just talking to the universe. Hey, I did not attract this to myself. And even though it happened to me, I forgive myself for being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I forgive whoever did this to me, and that they will never do it to some other person. That's natural cleansing that you can do for yourself. No, most of the times we run to other people to cleanse us, not knowing that we have the power to cleanse ourselves. So there's a lot we can do, and the community can help us. And this is what you're already doing to help people create awareness. So I feel like let's be advocates for each other. Let's normalize talking about forceful knacking, because it's a normal thing. It's a risk. It's like kicking your foot and having some bleeding on that foot. It's that normal. It's a mistake. And it's something that can happen to anyone. So let's normalize it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome, Coach B. That's really awesome. Yeah. Looking at the lady that was it happened to her severally. She the person that did it was her aunt's boyfriend. He did it severally, and then the next was clergy. You see, so she it was just what it is, and she has this I don't know how I can describe that. It
And she'll be
contracts like
so
that.
broken. She'll be
Yes, it
so
contracts. She
broken.
she she can't actually have the thing like that. It contracts.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
how I can. I'm sure you
Psychologically.
understand. Yes,
That's
it's
why
a
she
cycle.
needs therapy. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
those
thinking,
are
I'm just in the spiritual side of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, because looking at all of this, definitely
Voila.
I understand the system in Cameroon has bodies for that, but not too. It's not properly communicated to the public because a lot of people are actually ignorant about that. So I think it will be waiting for the government and those concerned to actually make their services quite
Yeah. No.
available and reachable,
Yeah.
because you see a lot of people fear to go to the stations because of something
Yeah.
cap, and some others. Somebody was commenting somebody was doing a comment. Somebody dropped a comment there that I know my country. If they do those services, very soon they'll earn money to eat. So it's just
Yeah.
funny how it's just funny how that's for fun anyway.
It just
Let's
takes it takes
you see. So it's just funny how we have seen it's just what it is. Is actually it's just what it is. But I think if the parenting do their jobs
guys.
right,
Can you hear me?
okay, okay, yeah, you 505 chef that way. Yeah. You wanted to add up something, chef? Okay. To me, I think if the parents do their jobs right, the children have the right orientation and they do preventive measures by setting boundaries, we will really help to actually reduce this a lot. And the next thing is the other people, the perpetrators of this act, if they are actually duly served, it's going to actually intimidate some others predators not to want to be part of this.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, I know there are people who, if they handle the case, is definitely going to be really critical of the perpetrators. But these people most often are not accessible by the survivors. There's a case of a guy that was accused of knacking by force. He was accused. I watched this guy's story on a documentary. He was accused. He used to run a show with a popular brewery company, and this guy actually, in showbiz entertainment world, you meet different people, and this girl came in like, "I want you to be my manager," kind of. For manager, they started vibing, chilling, everything nice, and afterwards, they went and knocked. It happened that this girl was living with a man and with her boyfriend, and just the pain of the guy discovering that his girl has knocked with somebody, they had to actually frame up the guy as though he knocked by force. One
Wow.
time when they were together, the guy was like, when they were going down, the girl was very cool. One time the phone was ringing at night, ringing. The girl was like, no, don't bother, she's not going to pick it. The guy was like, no, mommy, pick. That might be somebody in a critical situation that needs help. They get picked and he don't know how the thing finally closed up and it just ended like that.
Wow.
That guy went to work one fateful day and some police people came to his house. They have these stories, the way they used to get victims, to get people like that. They have stories they'll cook up. The guy had to come to the house and they picked him up from there. Without judgment, the guy had to spend 2 years in waiting trial because one woman who was allegedly a victim of knacking by force decided that he will see. So anything that comes to that woman in that station that is knacking by force, you will serve it. You have it hot. You see.
Mhm.
So the legal system actually has these openings for people that actually are survivors, but it is not communicated enough because most survivors don't even know. And I
Yeah.
believe examples are set on one or two people is going to drastically drop the rate at which people try to get it. There used to be mob justice where when they come and discover it, they will beat the perpetrator of the act, the predator,
Mm-hmm.
beat him mercilessly. Sometimes they'll even beat him to pie. Because I remember when I was growing up, there was one boy, I don't want to mention his name. He went and took somebody's baby, about 11 months old baby like that. I was forcefully doing it. When they caught him, they
Wow.
beat him mercilessly. So those are the different angles. It is possible to have those facilities in Cameroon. It is possible, but we need to just get the proper orientation. I believe subsequently I will bring in some clear possibilities and some bodies that have been put in place to target this particular thing so that those who are survivors could
They used to
actually
cut. They used to cut.
channel that.
They used to cut those things. They used to cut it down.
Yes,
They cut
in some
it down.
cases, yeah, in some
Yes, we've
cases,
experienced. We've seen cases where the turtle was cut down. They just cut and throw it to a bush.
yes,
Since
and
you
you
don't
use
get
them for
used to
wrong,
you
do wrong,
for what yeah,
yeah,
purpose. Better
yeah.
to be without turtle.
How possible is that? The living, how possible is the living? So
Uh,
basically, I said, how possible is the living without a toto? How?
if at all they don't
How can
bleed,
you
if
live
they
without
don't
it?
bleed to
How
death,
some people can do that?
if they don't bleed to death, they'll survive, bro. They're only bleeding to death to keep them going. When they don't bleed to death, it will survive. Then it be without turtle. Most people will use go calf arrow again.
Yeah, you see. So that's it.
Uh,
Um, I want to say, I believe we have exhausted the different angles of this topic, and it was really interesting because we evoked some very striking points. Before we pack our back, I don't know, Chef Dawood, do you have something to add up?
yes. So it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing. Ladies, dress appropriately, dress for
Mm-hmm.
the right occasions. If you're going to the gym, yes, dress for the gym. And also me wear kaba go for gym. How we my sister whom Angel was asking, yeah, no wear kaba go gym appropriately. Yeah, nowhere to wear what those cametos, they are not necessary anymore. They are not necessary. Yeah, not the show cameto like you become you are not a camel. Those that overrated cleavage and stuff that you're exposing. No, no, no. Time don't come where you get to stop all of those things. Age nearly catch you. You're not getting tired.
I'm telling you.
So you know it's a two-way thing. You get to rape a, you get to forcefully knock a man's mind, especially the weaker men who cannot control that thing in between their legs. You get to carve on their mind by dressing inappropriately. You respect them. You know there are people out there who are sick. I have a sister who is a my pastor. So she told me gone are those days that modern Christianity is in the heart. It's no longer about the way people should dress. So she permits her Christians to dress the way they want. Then I look at her. What about that guy who is suffering from, he's trying to control his sexual urge and the way he sings. Now he's running into the church. His mind is still weak. Is there no room for him, like to consider him? Like, okay, at this stage of his development, he cannot control his mind. He's still sick. So people out there, you should be thinking about helping him by not showing him. If you show If you show granite for rat, that rat is bound to eat that granite.
Yo,
And
Jabba.
they need to keep granite for place where rat there. So we should learn to on that direction. We should learn to respect that, dress appropriately. Then men on your path, become a king, evolve. Just come out from that slave mode, that slave mindset that you think is all about your third foot. When as soon as you come back to your senses, right? Whenever you come, especially when you're not doing it with the right lady under the right ceiling, as soon as you come back to your senses. Even those who go about forcefully knocking ladies, as soon as they come, which is just a thing like when you decaf R, right, you will not last because you don't want to get caught, so you want to do it very fast.
You
So
like
let's
to
just say,
enjoy it.
yeah, sharp sharp. So as soon as you come back to your senses.
You
Learn
start
to
feeling bad.
control yourself. Learn to control yourself. We all have a responsibility and duties to our society and communities. So control your urge, sexual urge. Control them. That's all I have to say.
Wow, awesome. This is
Well
quite.
done.
Mama Sita, anything to add up?
The chef has said it all. So the other thing I want to say is be familiar with your environment because there are some crooks that you will not that will be. Let me say that where I used to live, you have some people that smoke. All they do is stand outside and talk. So be familiar with your environment and know if it's safe for you to come back late at home on the way you dress too. It's very important. If you are going out, if you know it's not safe, you always get somebody to go with you if you must go. And
Yeah,
if you're coming back, if you know that it's too late, maybe get another girl. Maybe spend the night in a girlfriend's house who is where you went to. If that is the only option left, and always make sure you spend the night in a girl's house, not even in the opposite gender's house because you don't know. Friends too can still turn around and do you bad.
Yeah.
we're not talking about the men who are the survivors or the victims. How about men? Because somebody, when we're
Now,
talking, somebody.
most men, they end up enjoying their own. I think for me, I don't think they end up enjoying their own. Most
Hey,
men, yeah.
somebody just sent me a message that I was almost knocked by force. I was like, huh? You see?
So
Yeah,
why you know
you know
why you know
what happened to me when I was growing up, when I was in my village, I'll not call the name. So I had this man. He was my neighbor. He's tall. So anytime he has like they have like this guava tree. They call them guava and guava. So
Yeah.
anytime
Well,
we go there, he'll be like, "Hey, please, can we climb on the tree?" And he'll like, "Okay, yes." Then then when I come, he will call me to come. When I come there, he'll use my hand, put it on top of his this thing, manual color. Then he'll be like using my hands to rub his stuff. I'm like, no, what are you doing? He's like, no, if you don't do it like that, I'll not give you. You not you not go and you not climb on the tree and cut the guava. I'm like,
if
tell me how I run.
if I want forcefully knock you now, boss A, you go glad or you go holla. You
no,
go glad or you go holla.
I go holla.
For
Definitely,
men, not that lie, make them not go holla.
I get my boundaries. Yeah, for
Like
sure.
for this age, maybe you can forcefully knock a little boy for this age where I don't walk my mind. Where I know say no, that's not what I want. How will it first stand? That's
That's
the
a big
first
question.
question.
First of all, you will not be thinking
Yeah,
that
that's
maybe
the
she has something going on in her. Maybe she has a disease or something. If get king
nah.
for the
I'll
first
just chase
himself,
that
tell
kind.
me.
I'll just chase that kind that doom with it one yeah, anyhow so something they do, something they do.
Because nowadays,
I
see,
could enjoy.
nowadays, woman that they approach this thing, woman that they approach man picking them. So it's like
Oha!
it's bad normal now. Yes,
In a very good number, even.
Yeah, I don't see I'm plenty when Nigeria people say, let me go shoot my shot. If they go approach the girl, sometimes they didn't get it, even go propose. So that one there, for a man, I mean for a woman for people to say a woman don't forcefully knock man bikini, it's strange to me. I don't believe it.
No, they do it to boys, teenage boys, like
Yes,
when
if
they're
I say teenage boys, not big boys here.
way
If the teenage boy,
control.
I accept. Yes, but
Yeah.
not a grown up like chef now.
And
Chef could just be like,
no,
hey, come.
no, like sometimes when some men said like you be sleeping with her, then you won't wake up where she's horny. Then before you want to know, it already do a gimmicks. Everything is up. Then you want to wake up where you already did it right. So that's another way that they look at it. But
Yeah, because we struggle to also look at the other side, even though the cases are very few. But I have some people like in my inbox. They be like, I ask like, can a man be nagged by a force? Say yes. Another person told me that we can be nagged by a force, but we enjoy it. I mean them, not them that enjoy it. Yeah. So this this the conversation was quite beautiful. I don't know if Coach B is around. She's muted. Maybe she's caught up somewhere. Yeah. I must say it's been a very beautiful conversation, and from the comments, I know we have
I
shared
wish
a lot, and a lot of
there's
people have.
one thing. I wish
Yeah.
I can have someone that I can like maybe walk with. Maybe like this how they call this where they be na CEO or no na CEO like this gendarmes like who is at the top for this
Where?
police people think that like someone that can maybe if you commit a crime and I call him, then he will go. Actually, I know it will cost money. Yeah. Then I call him and be like, this person did this. Then he will send his boys to go
The follow
get the person. Yeah.
commissioner of police can do that in a.
Yes, that commissioner thing there. Yeah, because if if you dey catch them, they dey pay for their crime, the crime will reduce. If they keep doing it and getting away with it, the other people will copy and continue. And you see, you see that um
Namasita. Oh, chef, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Akumenje is saying you do not take comments today. Like you do not take comments today.
Reply to the comments.
So
The
I'm reading
conversation.
comments now. We've been reading comments. Like
We've been on comment. We've been on comment. Yeah. So these are measures that are very necessary.
mhm.
Please, women, protect yourself, protect your dignity. Don't use don't use trendy things and the so-called fashion to drop your value from a woman to an object. Please protect yourself,
Don't
protect your
play,
dignity.
don't go and play truth or dare. Or don't go and play
Yeah,
truth or
true.
dare.
Before they finish there,
Don't
make
go
sure
and
you have
play
your
seven.
dead out.
well, sorry, my phone can't free for you. Wait, you mentioned something about truth or dare. One lady mentioned something. I mean,
Yeah.
she came on Instagram and said something about this truth or dare thing. So
Yeah.
they said they'll go to a house now for Nigeria actually. Say you go have like a group of girls and boys. They go buy drinks,
That
cook chop,
connection is not the
then they go come
best.
on
Good night,
go do truth or
guys.
dare for night.
See you next
When
week.
it,
See you next week. The
Mhm.
ladies, the
okay.
ladies. Uh,
I don't know if Chef is maybe the network. I doubt if he can. Yeah, his network should.
Yeah, so the girl said so they invited another person. So okay, no, it's like the girl who is used to that thing invited her that oh they have like this come together they do it's like girls and boys they just go there drink and eat then watch TV and then play games. So okay, the girl like kept insisting for her to come to that get together. So when she went in, so what they did is when they say truth or dare, they say okay, me any person find your own partner, me they not come. See, I swear to
Like
that get
that.
talker with you. See, if they say so they get talker no. You see, you see, this one you go grab this one. The blind are two. They dey show okada. Say you run from that place. They are
People,
taking the
people
talker now. Who they
that
can
never
be
meet up before.
no. So when they say they
People,
don't meet up before, and I say if you be the first person for day, if it be like the first time for the place.
okay, it been a first time.
Yes, but the other the girls you invite him, it know about them. But no, things that the part that they ever do and say they just turn it among themselves. They like say na blue for me they act am for day.
Damn, I mean, in an open so.
Yeah, you see, na for night
Oh,
now. Truth or dare, after they don't finish drink, chop drink, then they start do the thing. They say truth or dare. They say, okay, grab your panda, bam. They go grab panda. They go knock this and so the switch. I say, what if some person be get this for this? You know,
I'm telling you,
you will just go round.
and as well as they work and share the thing.
Now I say, wait.
We need to actually take precautionary measures and to protect our health. This
That's
health
what
of
I said. This sleepovers there. Be careful to whose house you go to do this sleepover. Especially when they say come together sleepover. No go you because it's something else. You're going at something else now knocking near the door for that place.
yeah, sleepover usually is a trap. So
Mm-mm.
these are precautionary measures that if we take it properly, wow, finally we get to. So what's the one that wanted to see Mama Sita? Mama Sita is here.
I don't drive. I can move to my house. I didn't already my house now, so I don't can leave
Ah,
the key now already now. Before I be free, so Jolliver.
wow,
I
wow. All right, guys, it was a wonderful time being with you all. I must say we've had a great time of sharing ideas, exchanging and learning.
yeah.
We are going to Douala. We'll be in Douala. We'll be in Douala on the 17th of August.
Oh, for
Um,
that.
we have
Mm.
our Miss Natural who is going home with 50K cash, celebrating a natural woman. Those of you in Douala, save the date, 17th August, as from 7 p.m. We meet at Makepe BM and Poubelle at Bantu House.
Bantu.
Do your possible best to be there. There are going to be other activities. There's going to be a Bantu all white party. There are going to be different activities to empower the natural woman. We are celebrating a natural
Eh.
woman, the woman in all her value, in all her quality. So it's going to be a wonderful moment of empowerment. So do your best to be there. All right, I think for at this
The
point, Mama Sita,
girl. And then
you
there's
have
something
for
for
back out.
giveaway. I beg, na go check who don't win. Make I some put the things that the life for giveaway. I beg, I don't know if they ever handle the payment for the giveaway. I don't have Momo. Where I am, I don't have Momo.
Please, 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 those of you who are active in giveaway, there is no way you are going to, they don't mention your name, they don't give you money. You see, you are definitely going to get your Momo.
Is it because I
Sometimes
don't
it's
post
not
my
really
face?
easy. You see, sometimes to get the names to send somebody up, down, up, down, up, down. So the giveaways definitely come true. Sometimes they come faster, sometimes it might
Yes.
take even the next day. So just be patient, you definitely get a giveaway. We have several Momo. We always post the momoization screenshot so you know it's not a joke.
I
And
guess
you
I
see
should
the
start posting them too
yeah,
because I don't post them. I just announce the challenge and then they say this is the winner. Then I don't post it. They think I'm lying. I guess I'll
yeah. So
start posting them.
we go do momoization, you see the name, even the winners themselves, if they don't receive, you will
You
know
know,
that
funny show your face. I'm showing my face, so this is my face. It's not my real face, so but it's my face. Look at you, Manuela.
it's not my real face. So, all
As
right,
well.
guys, see you guys next week and have a wonderful night.
Bye, everybody.
Oh.